we touched on Kris Kristofferson. I love your story about Kris being the janitor at the Dylan session.
Yeah, Kris had been hired by the studio, Columbia Studio. By then was not didn't belong to Owen Brown anymore. It belonged to Columbia Records.
Okay.
He sold the studio to them,
Right.
and they hired and they built Studio A because their Studio B was booked around the clock, and they thought, oh, let's build another one and we'll be able to double our business, but it didn't happen because people are superstitious. They did all their hits in B. That's where they want to record.
That's where they want to go.
So they built Studio A, and it was kind of sitting there empty. And when Dylan came, they tried to book Studio B, and they said, it's full, but it's Dylan, but we don't care. Same thing.
Same thing.
So, well, okay. Said, look, you can have Studio A. You can block book it the whole week, and nobody else will be in there. So Bob Johnson said, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll go up there. So we heard that this new guy had been hired as a janitor, and nobody knew anything about him. And
this is a wild story.
Yeah, one night we're on a break, and I'm out in the hallway, and he walks up to me and he said, are you on that session? I said, yeah.
The Dylan session.
Yeah. I said, yeah, I'm a session leader. He said, my name's Kris, and I'm the janitor here. Would there be any way in the world that I could sneak in there for about 5 minutes and listen? I said, okay, I'll tell you what. You come in there, and I'll show you where to stand, and you don't say a word. Mm-hmm. And you just, and then when about, 5 or 10 minutes, and then you just leave. And I told the backup engineer, Ed Hudson, I said, Ed, I'm going to let the janitor come in. So we'll kind of shield him back here. And so he did.
Wow.
He was in there. And he watched the session, and later he came to me and he said, man, thank you so much for doing that. And then later we found out who he was. Rhodes Scholar.
Yes.
Helicopter pilot. And then the song started, and it was like, whoa, this is the biggest thing since Hank Williams.
Yes.
It was, no doubt about it.
Yeah, his songs, there's like before Kris Kristofferson, and then it was amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.